So if you guys have been wondering what smartphone I have been using as my daily driver for the past 3 months, it's the RealMe 2 Pro. And when I first got this phone, there were so many reviews of it already, so I thought it was pointless making a review out of it. But now that RealMe phones are officially available in Nepal, and since I have been using this phone for quite a while now, here is my long-term review of the RealMe 2 Pro. So let's get started. The RealMe 2 Pro came after the era of gradient designs, and I must say this simple touch of a plain colorful back still catches my eye. I chose this blue variant, which is sort of a light icy blue, which I still think is very appealing. But as eye-catching as it is, most of the times I used it with the silicone case that came along in the box because the entire phone is made of plastic. As careless as I am, I did not want to destroy my daily driver. And after this long usage, my phone still looks good as new. There are minor scratches at the back, but the shiny back has compensated to hide it very well. At the front too, I got a built-in screen guard that took up my scratches, but it started to wear off a little bit near the notch area, so I took it off altogether. And impressive is that the Gorilla Glass 3 protection has held up pretty well, preventing scratches on the display. But I think this phone is a little too thick for my liking, and other users of this device may also have felt the same. It's weird that the battery is not too huge and still the phone is thick and relatively heavy. Plus, with the cover on, it looks thicker than ever. But that does not matter in usage though, so it's okay. Keeping the RealMe 2 Pro as my daily driver, I have also reviewed quite a few phones, and looking at all of them, the V-shaped notch and the minimum bottom bezels in this one account to a good full view display in the RealMe 2 Pro. But through all this time, I have wished for more brightness, which is just moderately bright outside. Nothing that has affected my usability, but I have wished for more sometimes. Other than that, I have quite liked other aspects, such as the colors are bright and vibrant, and playing games or watching videos or simply browsing has been a good experience. The notch on the top is not very obtrusive, so I kept it on all the times. You do have an option to hide it for some apps, but it was okay for me. But through all this time, I have missed the LED notification lights. Yes, you can turn on notifications on the lock screen and even clear it from there, which has made it easier for me sometimes, but an LED notification is always welcome. Now we've come to the part where the RealMe 2 Pro has shown in all its potential, the cameras. Initially, I thought the cameras would be okay and nothing to fuss about, but this one has actually exceeded my expectation, except in one aspect, which I will talk about later in the video. So starting off with the back cameras, the pictures are very colorful and look pleasing to the eye. The details are on point, the saturation is on point, and I have loved the images. Look at this picture of the Buddha Stupa here. What do you think about it? Nice, isn't it? The fact is that this one uses the same Sony IMX sensor at the back previously used on the more expensive OnePlus 5T, and the results are awesome. I get the same impressive images every time I go around shooting with this phone. But something that has bugged me since day one is that you cannot change the camera settings from the camera app itself. And when I finally dug deeper, you could change the settings by going inside the settings menu. I mean, you have to individually go inside the settings menu and change whatever settings you want to alter. As good as the cameras are, this has been a big hassle for me. But in the camera app, the icons tell you clearly which is what functions, so it's not a difficulty finding the portrait mode or the HDR mode, etc. Talking about the HDR mode, it helps improve detail from bright and dark areas on images very well. But when you take a picture with an exposed background, it does help prevent details, but the pictures come out slightly unnatural. Not saying the images are not good though. Okay, there is a beauty mode which I did not use very often, but here are some samples for you to check out. Similarly, videos are very impressive. There is EIS to make your video stable. You won't notice the stabilization while shooting videos, but the outcome is good, I must say. Among the 4K 1080p and 720p options, I like the FHD resolution more in terms of quality. Autofocus in both videos and photos is good, nothing to complain about. Okay, now let's talk about the aspect that I have disliked, which is the portrait mode. I might sound very harsh when I say this, but the 2-megapixel depth sensor is not good in functioning. The edge detection is poor, blur intensity is poor and inconsistent. But you do have various studio lighting effects, among which I like the rim lighting effect, which looks like this. The night shots are what you would expect. They are nothing to be excited about, yet not that bad either. But certainly the cameras find it a bit hard to focus during night. Pictures in artificial lighting are good though. They are detailed and bright, and basically I have loved clicking pictures with this one. Selfies are nice too. They are colorful, natural and detailed. The HDR option helps when the background is exposed. Also, there is stickers option, which has been very fun for me as well as my friends. The beauty option, again, I didn't use it too much. The portrait option in the selfie cameras does an okay job, but there are no studio lighting effects in selfie portraits, which I would have loved to have. Never mind RealMe, you can put it there in the upcoming device of yours. Now talking about the performance, this one has the Snapdragon 660 SoC, which we have seen on many phones lately. But I was a bit skeptical about the ColorOS affecting the full potential of the chipset, but actually it has not been that way. I have had no complaints about the performance of this device whatsoever. I have not felt lags and stutters on this device while multitasking or gaming and the like. Coming to gaming, the Adreno 512 GPU is quite a performer. I play PUBG very often in medium settings without major stutters. Also, Asphalt runs pretty well, but F1 racing goes through some stutters sometimes, not to the extent of frustration though. But the speakers at the bottom get distorted at highest volumes and has spoiled my gaming experiences a lot. But with earphones, it is not that bad. Also, the speakers tend to cover up with fingers, which again adds up to not so good gaming experience. So even though the games ran pretty well, I have had issues. I have been using the 4GB RAM and 64GB storage variant with eMMC storage, which might be the reason why some apps and games take a while to install. The fingerprint sensor at the back has been working fine. It is fast and gets the job done 100% of the times. And facial unlock is swift too during daytime. Since it's the front camera doing the job here, it does not perform very well during nighttime. Also, like other Chinese phones, this one too does not certify the DRM L1 certification, but since I don't use Netflix or Amazon Prime contents on my phone, it was not a deal breaker. Now the software. And you know I am not a huge fan of the ColorOS, especially because the app icons are not very good looking, and surprisingly there is no theme center to change it either. So unless you download another launcher, you are stuck with it. But things can change, as the CEO of RealMe has promised the Pi update in the next few months, so maybe the latest ColorOS based on Pi will have something refreshing. And one more thing, since my use, I've gotten a couple of updates, the latest security patch dated January 5. And some 2 months ago, I got the update that made the notifications clear up from one direction. Previously, it was so annoying that you had to swipe once and click delete, but to some extent, it has been corrected. In the Realme 2 Pro, you get a modest 3500 mAh battery that will last you for an entire day. And this has not changed since day one up until now. I mean, the battery life is not degraded. The area where Realme could have done better is by including a VOOC charge technology. It is not that difficult to borrow your own tech, right? But they haven't, so charging will take around 2.5 to 3 hours to get fully juiced up. So as I said earlier, I have used this phone for quite a time now, and even though I do not like the UI, I have gotten used to it, but I would like to suggest that the company focuses more on the UI part. Also, even though the phone looks good, I don't think plastic bags are here to stay. Me as well as other users for a long time use would like to see better materials on their phones. Snapdragon 660 is no doubt a very good processor, but maybe in the next one, Realme could consider having something more powerful like the Snapdragon 675 or the Snapdragon 710. I would also like to see Realme adding VOOC charging in their devices, a USB Type-C port and a bigger battery maybe. And the portrait mode needs more attention because such good cameras are there. Why would they compromise on a tiny aspect? So my verdict would be, yes, the phone has some shortcomings, but they are not that big of a deal. I have loved using this phone and will continue using it as my daily driver for the next few months. So if you're thinking of getting this device for the price it asks, and especially after the discounts you're getting right now, this can be a very good choice. So that was all for the review. Tell us what you think about the device in the comment section below. Till then, keep watching GadgetByte. I am Pratima Adhikari and thank you for watching.